Mr. Olympia 2009, the event where Jay Cutler made history. This is still the only time in history someone reclaimed the title after losing it. The strong lineup, the epic lighting, and who can forget about the famous quad stomp, considered by many the single best moment on a Mr. Olympia stage ever. All these things make Cutler's 2009 physique his most famous, his most recognizable, and by many, his best shape of all time. But what if I told you this wasn't his best? And no, I'm not talking about 2006 when he defeated the best bodybuilder of all time. I'm actually talking about 2001, when he first went toe-to-toe against the best bodybuilder of all time, Ronnie Coleman. You may or may not agree with this statement, and after all, this is just my opinion, but let me show you why I think that, and what better way than a direct comparison between 2001 Jay Cutler and 2009 Jay Cutler. Right from the start we can notice that 2009 has the production advantage. I don't know if it was the lighting, the tanning, or a combination of the two, but that golden look definitely adds a lot for the amazingness of 2009 Jay Cutler. But let's look beyond that. What do we see? In this first pose, the front double biceps, we don't see much of a difference honestly. You almost wouldn't believe this is 8 years apart. I'm sure we can find small reasons why one version is better than the other in this pose, but whatever these small reasons would be, they definitely cannot settle which version is really the best. So let's move on to the next pose. The front lat spread. In this pose I identified 3 reasons why 2001 is better. Reason number 1, the delts. If you especially look at the left deltoid, it becomes pretty clear that in 2009 his delts have gotten worse. Reason number 2, the chest. This may be because of the execution, but I like his 2001 chest better. We'll see as this video progresses if that's the case. Reason number 3, and probably the most obvious one, the midsection. Seeing abs definition in the front lat spread is not a must, but when you do that, it cannot go unnoticed. So in my opinion, 2001 clearly wins this pose, so it has 1 point advantage so far. Let's see if I was right about the chest, the side chest pose. First thing we can notice is that Jay switched the side for this pose. Usually bodybuilders have their favorite side for the side poses, obviously the one that puts them in a better light. So I suppose something happened as long as Jay did this. Judging the pose, Jay's close pec definitely looks better in 2001, but it is not the same one, so it's hard to make a decision based on that. And as far as I'm concerned, his far pec looks better in 2009 in these shots, so I don't know. Same goes for the delts. The advantage he was having in the previous pose are not as obvious here either. The midsection advantage is still there though. 2001 had a way tighter midsection, that's for sure. Overall, I could go with 2001 here, but there's no significant dominance, so I would still consider 2001 having only 1 point ahead in this comparison so far. Back double biceps, and in 2001 Jay definitely didn't put so much effort in flexing the glutes. They don't present the same definition as in 2009, but his overall conditioning in 01 is definitely at the same level as in 2009. I'm counting this as an advantage to 2009, though don't think I'm biased with this. However, if you look at the actual back, 2001 blows 2009 out of the water. From the back it becomes most obvious why 01 is the better version. Too bad he was going against Coleman that year, because otherwise this back would have been impossible to beat. Jay had probably some injuries going on in his lower lat region by 09. These are some obvious differences between these two versions. Anyway, 01 gets 2 points ahead in this comparison. And we move on to the other back pose, the back lat spread. Just as expected, 2001 is better, his back looks wider and also more detailed that year. There's no questions in my mind that 01 wins both back poses rather easily in this comparison, so this version gets 3 points ahead in this comparison already, with 3 more poses to go. Side triceps. Jay's tighter midsection in 2001 makes a big difference again. His tricep development looks more impressive as well in 01, so again 2001 for me, which goes 4 points ahead in this moment. Next is the abs and thighs, and probably most of you expected to see 2001 crush 2009, but Surprisingly, even for me here, that is not the case. His abs did look a bit better in 2001, that's true, but it's not a difference maker in this pose right here I'm talking. His thighs are probably more defined in 2009, so overall we could give this one to 2009. I know it's against what we would have expected, but I'm judging what I'm seeing and I see 09 as being better here. This makes 2001's advantage down to 3 points ahead while we're heading for the last pose, which wasn't even a mandatory pose back in 2001. I believe they made this pose mandatory after 04, so we could not take it into consideration, but it would be not totally fair, especially as everyone was hitting this pose since the beginning of bodybuilding. Jay hits a hands clasped variation in 2001 here, but his most muscular from 2009 wins this for me. Now, I'm talking from memory as well, and I never saw Jay Cutler look as good as in 2009 in the most muscular, pictures or footage. So based on that, I dare to say 2009 would win this pose. So 2001 remains with 2 points ahead, and yes, you've got those two poses in the beginning, the front double and the side chest, which I did not count to neither of these two versions, because I believe they were too close. So if you're a big 2009 fan, you can take those and consider this a draw. But on a serious note now, I believe this footage comparison made it pretty obvious, pretty unquestionable, that Jay was clearly better in 2001. Jay Cutler's best shape of all time was at the Mr. Olympia 2001, which he didn't even win, by the way. What's your guys' opinion on this subject? What do you believe is Jay's best shape? It is either of these two or a different version. Make sure to let me know in the comment section below. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to support the channel. Until next time, this is Superset Man. See ya.